At the beginning of episode 2, we see a man sitting in a dark room counting down. As midnight strikes and he turns 30, the man shouts with joy, because people who are still virgins at 30 become wizards, meaning they can use magic. We also see that this man's room is filled with many potions and magic-related books. He then tries to use magic, but nothing happens. He tries multiple times, but still nothing. He then picks up a secret book and begins reading a spell to summon monsters, but again nothing happens. Because he was shouting so loudly, his neighbors get angry and he has to apologize. After that, he sadly settles down. There's no such thing as magic in this world. Why on earth did I stay a virgin for 30 years? He then sadly goes to sleep since he has to go to work in the morning, but suddenly he feels a sharp pain in his chest. He collapses to his knees. On his book he had written, "No matter what happens, I will become a wizard." And in the end, the man says, "I don't want to die," and then he dies. His entire life flashes before his eyes. From the beginning, he made no friends. He only researched magic and read about it. He had heard that people who remain virgins until 30 can use magic, which is why he stayed a virgin. But somewhere inside, he had always known that magic was not possible in this world. Then his soul takes a new form, a small one, and that is Shin. Now in the present, when Shin's father told him there is no magic in this world, he began researching magic. He never gave up and kept trying. But the more he learned about this world, the more he came to realize that this world truly had no magic. Now he is 6 years old and at last he sees a new hope. Shin tries to use magic here too, but again nothing happens. He is still not fully sure whether magic exists in this world, but then Mary comes into his room. He says, "You should knock before coming in." Mary says, "Oh, so now you've started feeling shy." Shin thinks, "Not yet, but someday I will." Mary says, "Come on, it's snack time." But just then Shin calls Mary over to sit with him. She comes and sits beside him, and the very next moment Shin says, "Sis, I love you." Hearing this, Mary becomes very flustered. But then suddenly Shin's body glows again. Shin says, "I was right, when I confessed my feelings, the magical energy activated. But does that mean every time I need to activate magical power I'll have to confess like this? No, I can't do that." But then he sees that Mary is looking at him angrily. She says, "You're using me like a toy, aren't you? You just lied to me." Shin says, "No, it was true." Mary shyly says, "You're telling the truth." Shin thinks, oh, she accepted that pretty quickly. Then Mary says, "If you're telling the truth, then I forgive you. Anyway, did you learn anything more about magic?" He says, "Right now it looks like whenever I express my feelings, my magical power gets released. But I also want to try something else." Shin realizes that when he expresses his feelings, he is better able to understand those feelings. In other words, he needs to understand his emotions more deeply. He then concentrates for a moment, and once again his body begins to glow. Mary says, "You're glowing." Shin says happily, "I did it." But he notes that right now he can only make his body glow. Mary says, "You can make your body glow, that's amazing." Shin thinks to himself, "Yes, my body glowed. But now I need to learn many more things so I can create magic in this world." Now, this is easy to understand. Take an electric eel as an example. It has electroreceptors that can sense nearby electric fields, and its body contains a special electric organ that produces electricity. In the same way, humans in this world also have some organ that lets them sense magic and also produce it. At this moment, the condition for releasing magical energy is what Shin calls a magically charged state, a name he gave himself. Thinking all this, Shin laughs in a very strange way. Mary says, "You look really weird when you laugh like that. But today is the first time I've seen you so happy." Seeing this, Mary also becomes happy. A month passes, and in this time Shin has learned a few things. First, to achieve a magically charged state, a certain level of powerful emotion is needed. But then the difficulty lies in maintaining that emotion at that same powerful level. Second, how many times in one day you can achieve a magically charged state is also limited, because after using too much magical power, your body becomes so exhausted that you cannot even get up. Third, if you push your total magical power to the limit at once, the next time your capacity to use magical power increases slightly. Fourth, just like those magical light balls, a magically charged state also cannot be seen by people who don't have the potential to use magical energy, but those who do have the potential can also feel its warmth. And fifth, and this is Shin's biggest difficulty, he cannot create magical light balls, probably because the amount of magical energy one person can produce has a limit, and the magical energy Shin has is perhaps only enough to make his body glow. 1 minute that means I have less magical energy than a fish. Thinking this, he says, "So magical energy is like MP in a game. No matter how much you try, you can't increase your MP. That means I've hit a dead end. No, I can't give up after coming this far." He thinks back to those trout fish from which the light balls were emerging. Then an idea strikes him. He enters a magically charged state and tries to gather all his magical energy into just one hand. But right now it is very difficult for him to do that. He understands that to use magic, he needs to mix logic and emotion. Then he tries something else. He thinks about how happy he would be if magical energy gathered in his right hand. And while feeling that emotion, this time a substantial amount of magical energy collects in his right hand. And within a short time, that magical energy becomes a light ball. Shin is overjoyed, my right hand is glowing. He then punches a wall with that light ball, but this only hurts him. I thought I'd be able to attack with that light ball, but it was just an ordinary light ball. But even so, this time I succeeded in making a light ball. So friends, the technique of gathering magical energy in one specific location while in a charged state is called gathered magic. Now Shin says, I'll keep practicing like this until I pass out. In the next scene, we see Shin's father preparing to give fighting training to all three of them. But Shin is quite tired, and today Rose and Shin are joining this training for the first time. His father says you all need to focus during training because even this wooden sword has the power to hurt people. But then Shin says, I don't like fighting, so I don't want to learn swordsmanship. His father says learning swordsmanship is very important. Even if you don't fight humans, there are dangerous monsters spread all around outside town. Rose is learning swordsmanship so she can protect herself when needed. Mary tells Shin, you need to do this too. Shin just wanted to practice gathered magic. After a little practice, Shin gets very tired. His father says, I didn't think you'd be this bad at swordsmanship. He then says that Rose shows a lot of potential and will become a skilled swordswoman if she keeps training. He then asks to see how much Mary has grown. Mary is ready to face her father. The two of them face off, and as Mary charges forward to attack from the front, her father blocks with his sword. In the same fast movement, Mary redirects her sword downward, but her father is also very sharp and he jumps to dodge her attack so Mary loses. Her father says, your movements are very easy to read, but even so, you've improved a great deal. Keep training like this and in a few years you'll become a very skilled swordswoman. Mary smiles and says, yes, I'll give my best. In the next scene, we see Shin in his room with his body glowing. He tries again to create a light ball. But this time nothing happens. He can't figure out where he's going wrong. We learn that whereas he used to only be able to activate a magically charged state a few times a day for a few moments, now he is able to do so for 20 minutes. But nothing is happening the way he imagined. I need to rethink everything from scratch. Just then his father comes into his room. Shin asks what happened. His father says, I'm thinking of going to Estria, will you come with me? We learn that Estria is a town in the Eshin region quite close to Shin's home. Shin says, yes, I'll come. In the next scene we see them about to enter the town. Shin's mother and sister are also with him. In town, they will first shop and then visit the smith before heading home. His father tells Shin and Mary to stay with them. Shin was hoping for a chance to freely explore the town, but apparently he's not quite old enough for that yet. During shopping, Shin observes everything carefully. After shopping, Shin's parents go into a shop and the two kids wait outside. Just then Shin notices Mary laughing. He asks what happened. She says nothing. Their parents come back out, shopping done, and now they head to the smith. All four of them arrive at a blacksmith's shop. The blacksmith sees Shin's father and says, oh, so you've come, Gavin. His father says, I'm such a good customer of yours and this is how you talk to me, Grast. Grast says, yes, you've come to pick up your items, right? I made top quality things for you. He then introduces himself to everyone. My name is Grast and children, I am your father's friend. Both children introduce themselves too. Then we see Mary receive her sword, a very fine blade, and she is absolutely delighted. She takes it out and admires it. In the evening, they all head home. Mary says, Shin, you didn't get anything, only I did. I feel bad. Shin says, your birthday is coming up. This is your birthday gift. Besides, I don't have much interest in swords. Mary says, Shin, you should be a little selfish sometimes for yourself. He says, I am quite selfish actually, I keep asking you for help all the time. Mary pouts and says, that's not what I mean. But then Shin's eye falls on a particular shop and he asks his father about it. His father says, you don't need to know about that, you're too young for this. Shin says, all right. But Shin has already understood what kind of shop it is. They are selling fairies there, they are fairy sellers.